Right now, we're off to Florence, Italy, for our weekly update on what's happening. Here's a boy that grew up on the prairie and has done well. Are you having a drink?
It's iced tea. It's
Oh,
and
is
not
it?
not even the Long Island variety. Just plain old iced tea.
Look at you. Look at that glass. You didn't have glasses like that when you grew up on
You got
Brown
that right.
Street or whatever.
Styrofoam cups back
That's
in
a
Oh,
those
boy.
days.
I thought that was a white wine, and you were enjoying some nice Italian cheese and baguette and
Yeah,
cold,
we're
cold
we're
cuts.
we're pushing 40 degrees here today, so
Oh,
I'm
wow.
pounding back the iced tea.
It's very similar to summer in Ontario. You wait all year for the great weather, and sometimes the great weather comes. It's like it's too good.
Yeah.
Fred's often mentioned because he's been to Italy. I think you've been there a couple times, right?
Twice,
Fred?
yes. Love it.
And we've talked about how lifestyles are so much different in some European countries. It's just a different pace to the day. And as a
Yes.
Canadian, I mean, I know you've lived in the States, but you've lived in Florence for 8 years. Do you feel like now you've adapted to more of an Italian lifestyle, like an afternoon? You have some wine, maybe some
Yeah.
cheese, and make love, that type of thing.
Well, yeah, all but for that last part.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, but I got to say, it's taken me all of these 8 years to kind of get into the local rhythm, and now I've finally learned to appreciate it. We just come from this culture of instant gratification back in North America, and things just work a little bit different here, which is part of the charm. But it does make for some frustrating times when you're just trying to get some of the basic things of life out of the way, so you can get on with the more enjoyable things, and sometimes those basics take a lot more time than what we're used to. But I've slowly grown into that pace of life, so very much enjoying it.
We got a buddy in France, and I was talking to him last week, and he was telling me he had a car shipped over to France,
Yeah.
and he tried to get it licensed in France.
Yeah.
It's going to be cheaper and easier to ship it home and sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he was telling us. Yeah. It's
I
crazy.
doubt it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I once shipped a Jeep over. It was for business, and it was interesting because when I told the dealer, it was on the West Coast, I'm in Vancouver, and I told the dealer that I was buying this Jeep specifically to have it shipped over to Europe, and he said, I didn't hear that. And I said, why? And he said, because I absolutely can't sell it to you if I know that that's what you're doing. And I said, why? And he said, because they go for double the price over in Europe. And so they want to, regulate the flow of them. And he said, of course, we can't, legally stop you from doing it. But me as a dealer, I could actually lose my license if I'm selling it to you, knowing you're going to ship it to Europe. But the end of the story is that it lasted here for about it wasn't in Italy, it was another part of Europe, but it lasted for a day and a half before it got stolen.
Oh, really?
So,
Wow.
yeah. So
That's
there
ridiculous.
you go. So the take-home lesson is, don't ship Jeeps over to Europe.
Well, the nice thing is, if that happened to you now, you'd be able to look at your health gauge watch like I can and see what that did to your blood pressure.
That's
I got to
right,
tell you,
that's right.
very good news for you. Lots of people are inquiring. I've had several emails and messages in the last couple of weeks about getting the watch. And then you and I was going to send you a note because I was hoping you and I could get together on Friday and have a little chat about some mechanics of this, because people have been asking specifically when we're going to be able to have a promo code. In the meantime, both Freddie and I, a lot of times we get some client stuff and we're like, oh, well, sure, we'll try that. But both of us have been, we talk about it all the time. We start off this morning by talking about how many steps we did yesterday.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd be that guy because I've never had a watch like this. I've never had a Fitbit or any of those things. But it is interesting once you have it, how you start to pay attention to it. Did you notice that when you first started putting it on? Because you're very active.
Absolutely. There, beyond a doubt. And, to the point now where, because I'm kind of a watch guy. I've got quite a collection. And I don't wear other jewelry, but I do love my watches. But you know what? In the last several months, I haven't had one of my single expensive watches on. All I've got on is this.
Oh, you got the new one too now.
I do. It finally arrived in the mail. So I'm in the club, boys. I'm in the club.
Attaboy. Yeah, it's good.
You know, I've noticed this whole 10,000 step a day thing to me just seems about a bit outrageous. I mean, but I have noticed though, since I've had this watch, if I can peel off 5,000 a day, I can sort of hold my line on weight. Yeah. Because when I get up in the morning and weigh myself, if I'm up 2 or 4/10 of a pound or whatever it is, you know, if you're a bit sloppy with what you're eating the day before, I have noticed if I can hit around 5,000, I can hold the line on my weight. So it's invaluable from that standpoint.
It absolutely is. And I got to tell you, just looking at mine now, I haven't gone out for any sort of exercise today. And I'm at 8,200 steps. And that's just the difference in the European lifestyle. That's just, you know, going out to buy the milk and to take the garbage out and to do blah, blah, blah. And you just, you know, you accumulate the steps without even thinking about it. And then, you know, this afternoon I'll go for my hour run, and that'll be another 10,000 steps. Wow. But yeah, it's not about the steps per se. What it is that you start aggregating all this data together, and it is the steps, but it's all the other analytics that it's providing to you as well. And you'll start to see a pattern forming in relation to your life. And so, you know, when I go for 3 or 4 days and I've, you know, been hyper stressed because of work or whatever, and I go back and I check what my numbers look like over those days, I'll see that, you know, the blood pressure might have been a little bit elevated, the heart rate was a little faster than usual, the sleep pattern was off, and so on and so forth. And so when you start tagging, you know, those you know, hard, cold numbers,
right, the key indicators,
get aggregated to your real life, and you see, man, there's direct correlation. I am affecting my health by what I do each and every day, and so it starts to change your mindset, and you start to say, you know what, it's time for me to take that afternoon break and, you know, get into the Long Island iced tea or whatever it is, you know, and you will see that there's this, you know, very immediate, and it becomes dramatic impact on, you know, on the analytics, on the numbers, by, you know, your behavioral changes. And
well,
so,
you know,
that's the good thing of it.
The fact that it's called the health gauge now makes so much more sense, because in real time you can gauge your health and the effects that your lifestyle is having on it, you know, because I guess this is about my our third week with it, Freddie, or something like that. But I've become so used to checking out my temperature, checking out my blood pressure, not as obsessively as I thought I would, but the two key ones that I check a lot are steps and sleep.
Sure.
Because I've had this idea that I don't get as much sleep as I thought. Like, you know, I've never been a great sleeper, but I look at it, and it turns out that on most days I'm getting actually more sleep than I thought I was.
Oh, good for you. Yeah,
absolutely. And I can tell on the weekends when I've had a little bit more sleep, I see what that does to my blood pressure for the day, et cetera, et cetera. So if you're looking to gauge your health, healthgauge.com, it's a monitoring system that is going to make you healthier ultimately, and give you indicators to share with people that you know, fitness, nutrition, and your doctors.
You're a runner, Tim. What the one that I have found interesting too, because I've always got a mind to my heart because of the family history, is resting heart rate.
Yes.
I've been as 62. What would somebody like you be that runs?
When I wake up in the morning, it's in the low to mid 40s, 42, 45.
Nice.
Wow.
Nice one.
Nice.
That's hardly alive. My goodness.
Yeah. I'll get on the treadmill, and, you know, in days gone by, nowadays I don't need it anymore, but days gone by, I would get on the treadmill and, you know, getting my heart rate up to about 110, 120, which is my warm-up rate before I get on the squash court. And it would take me like a half an hour to get it up there. Wow. This is crazy.
Nice too bad. So,
you know,
and again, I yell about the Trump. Our heart rate spikes.
You talk about the life. You talk about the lifestyle too. That's one thing I noticed in Italy in particular, just watching the people day to day.
Yeah.
They just seem calmer, more relaxed, more into the moment. It's wonderful. And over there, like, you don't go buy a week's worth of groceries either, right? Like every day you go and buy fresh, and it's wonderful.
You're absolutely right, Fred. You know, we made that mistake when we first moved over here, where we'd go out and buy a week's worth of food, and after the third day, everything's starting to rot because it's all vine ripened. It's ready to eat now. And I remember, you know, going to the market and I was buying peaches, and the salesman asked me, well, do you want to eat them today or tomorrow? Because if you want them today, I'll give you these ones. If it's tomorrow, these ones. And I said to him, well, what if I want them next week? And he said, well, come back next week.
That's great.
Hey, you ain't getting that. You ain't getting that service at.
No, that's right. Sobeys are like, they're so when you buy them at Sobeys, they're like, eat it now, eat it in 3 weeks. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
All right, Timmy. We will check in with you soon, and I'll get you a note. Hopefully, we can grab a bit of time on Friday or sometime next week.
Sure,
Healthgauge.com. Healthgauge.com. It is really something else. It's not a very expensive item. Go check it out on the website. And now you can see it in real time. All of us are checking. My heart rate's at 85. What's yours at, Timmy?
Oh, I haven't looked at it here now. I'm sure I'm excited because, well, I'm with you boys. So.
Sure.
Give me a minute.
What's yours, Fred?
73.
73. Wow, that's good.
Well, they say between 70 and 100's normal.
Yeah,
right?
that's absolutely normal. Yeah.
Okay.
No question. It's coming. Mine is 59.
That's right. So the two of us are excited, and you're just chilling there in Italy.
Howie, what would you rather have? A standing heart rate or a resting heart rate of 59 or shoot a 59?
Oh, 59 easily. All right, Timmy, talk to you soon, my brother.
All right, Jans, thanks for having me. I enjoy
Always
it.
a pleasure. Healthgauge.com.
Okay, take care.